Hello, everybody. I think that, yeah, everybody is here. Welcome, first of all, to our first admission webinar for our MIT Supply Chain Management Master's Program. It's the first webinar in this academic year. So then for the admission cycle for next academic year. So we are here just to share with you then the main features of our master program, and also to answer the questions you may have about all this, your potential application for the program. So with that, let me share our PowerPoint, so then we can start with our content. So let's start. This is the content. This is the overview today. So what is your path to becoming a top supply chain management professional? And this is what this master is helping. What is the MIT experience? What to expect about the MIT experience? What is your destination? So then what is your career path after our master program? Because we bridge that path. And what is next if you want to apply? With that, then let's start with your path to becoming a supply chain management professionals. So then this is our value proposition. For us, it's so important, this sentence, because it drives all what we are doing. But first of all, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Maria Jesus Sainz. I am the Executive Director of the MIT Supply Chain Management Master's Program. I am also the Director of the Digital Supply Chain Transformation Laboratory. I will present the laboratory later. But as part of the SCM, this is our main goal. This is our value proposition within the supply chain. All the staff, instructors, faculty, researchers, and also students and applicants. We are here just to develop world-class global leaders in supply chain management with an innovative MIT educational model. And all these words are so important. Global is important. Why? Because then supply chains are global. So we really appreciate diversity in terms of discussions, in terms of contributions, in terms of experience, in terms of countries, in terms of industries, in terms of ages, global leaders. So then I aim also to shape the future of supply chains with talented professionals that will go there to the companies in order to shape the best in the supply chain field. And of course, innovative MIT educational model. MIT in that is very flexible, and this is great, something that the master really appreciates and the students and alumni really appreciate. We are incorporating the latest topics and developments into our curriculum intentionally, and then we have been developed to do that. This is why innovative MIT educational model, both in terms of the ways of instruction, but also in terms of the content that we are bringing into the master program. We will explain this a little bit more. We aligned on your left with MIT, of course. What is the value proposition of MIT? Mens et manus, innovation, values-driven leadership, and of course, purposeful engagement. And this is something that our SCM program, aligns with MIT in order to develop all these values on every stakeholder that is involved in our master program. So in terms of our master program, why MIT Supply Chain Management? There are key factors that we wanted to share with you. It's a very intense master program, but also very, I would say, feasible in terms of the effort that you are putting and also the outcomes you are getting. You can take the program in 10 months for our residential. This is why we have an R there, and our 5 months blended cohorts. So there are like 2 different paths for the same degree. Our salaries are equal to those salaries coming from an MBA program. Actually, I will comment on that, but then you can take your path, you can customize your path with more than 300 electives. If you want to focus more on leadership and focus more on particular areas that are a little bit beyond supply chain, you can do it. with our programs because we partner both with the School of Engineering and the Sloan School of Business. So then we can, again, you can customize your expectation, I would say even more than the MBA. Then our residential cohort, our pathway for the residential program offers OPT STEM certified. This implies up to 3 years of US work authorization, especially if you are an international student. This is very important. We want to define ourselves as a very dedicated, customized program. We love a small community of 40 professionals in the residential cohort, 40 blended students in the blended cohort, intentionally, but also bringing a very rich diversity in terms of countries, in terms of approaches, in terms of industries, in terms of different functions within the supply chain, even career pivots that want to change their careers after our program. Intentionally is small, so then we have 80 professionals because all of them bring experience in the field. And this is the idea, that we collect all this experience in order to build all these experiential learning and collective learning experience with our program. Study treks. We go every spring to Panama or Bay Area or Seattle. It depends every year. We are changing, but also we would love to go outside to visit facilities and to network with those professionals that belong to the SEM family and are shaping the future of supply chains. So then what else? We belong, as the master program, we belong to MIT, but also we belong to the Center for Transportation and Logistics, and this is our home. CTL, as we call it, has these three big pillars. We, all the researchers, we build research in terms of applied research content in our field of expertise. Actually, we work with real-world supply chain challenges that are complex in nature. We love complex problems. And then with our research, we shape those complex problems. Compared with other institutions, we are very applied. We work every single day with companies, so we understand what the companies expect in terms of the latest talent to be implemented in their workforce. And also we know what is going on in our research domain. So we bring together all this application together with the research and academic content. Outreach, also we have programs in which we work closely with those companies. Actually, we have a program that is called Supply Chain Exchange, when we work together with the 50 global companies that are more, I would say, prominent in shaping the future of supply chains, and you can name them. And in education, this is the best example. So probably you already heard about the MicroMaster program in supply chain management, this master program in supply chain management, but also we provide executive education in order to deploy all this content and knowledge into the field. Talking about the MIT Center for Transportation Logistics, I mentioned we love working with companies, we love to shape the future of supply chains, and these are only some of the laboratories that are part of our master program. The heads of all these laboratories are teaching elective, a course. In my case, for example, I am the head of the MIT Digital Supply Chain Transformation Laboratory. We are working on how digital and AI is shaping supply chain, is transforming supply chains, but AI is all over the place. Freight Lab is working on AI in freight procurement, Humanitarian Supply Chain Lab, Sustainability and Sustainable Supply Chain Lab as well. The CAVE, Computational Analytics, Visualization and Education, in order to put in practice the different, for example, network design models, how to shape the networks for certain companies. And the MIT Intelligent Logistics Systems working on the latest AI algorithms to optimize networks, to optimize, for example, delivery, and to optimize automation in warehouses. So these are on your left, you have all these laboratories that are part of our applied research work. In terms of our master program, we are very proud of being number one in several rankings. Edu Universal, the QS World University rankings. We belong to the to the School of Engineering here at MIT. Our degree is awarded by the School of Engineering. But also we work closely with the school of the business school. So of course it depends the rankings. It depends what school they are promoting. Then there are different approaches. But very well. I mean, very proud of being recognized as number one. What is the difference? The main difference between the residential pathway and the blended pathway? Maybe some of you already asked this question. So let me summarize this. You have here the main features. Let's start with the residential program. 10 months on campus. Compare with MBA, that is 1.5 years or 2 years. Here is intensive, 10 months on campus, with a very clear path of content, but also opportunities for electives. Designed for early career supply chain professionals who want this advanced, specialize in a very prominent area that is shaping the business right now, supply chain management. We custom career development, and my colleagues are here. They will introduce what are our commitment with career development and recruitment opportunities. Our statistics are quite prominent. And also with the residential cohort, then you will be eligible for OPT STEAM work authorization in the US for 3 years. What is the difference with the blended? Blended program is much more intensive. Actually, it's developed as an alternative pathway to our master's degree. We were pioneers at MIT with the MicroMasters program in supply chain management. We're the first MicroMasters program. Other universities have emulated this educational offering. And the idea is that then first you follow the MicroMasters certificate, and those that are awarded with this MicroMaster certificate are eligible to apply to the blended program. So first you need to take the MicroMaster certificate, and then the blended program or blended cohort, let's say, is designed in order to align with the deadlines of the MicroMaster, so with the exam at the end of the MicroMaster certificate. Then you will earn a master's degree in supply chain management in just 5 months on campus. So it's an accelerated pathway, but the degree is exactly the same with the residential and with the blended, but the pathway is different. And this option is typically for non-traditional students who may not have a professional or academic background in supply chain areas, or the other way around, those that they don't want to leave their job, they want to take MicroMasters on their own pattern, and then they will be with us only 5 months, intensive 5 months, and they will come back to their careers. So typically are more senior than in the residential, we could say, but more variety of profiles in the blended. This is a good summary of the two programs, so you can see the two pathways together. Let me explain a little bit, the two pathways. So in case of the residential, then what we are doing is to, you start actually in August on campus. Of course, previously we are working on your onboarding, and then we are having different terms according to the MIT academic year patterns. Until end of May, we will have graduation. Everybody will be happy in front of the dome, MIT dome, celebrating the graduation with families. And then you will start after that impacting into the industrial world. The blended, the difference with the blended in residential, as I mentioned, is that then you start on campus in January. But there is a previous work, preliminary, what we call pre-work, that is done remote. Of course, previously you have had your MicroMaster certificate, but there is some work that we are doing during the fall term. Then when you join us in January, Then what we call, IAP is a very MIT term, Independent Activities Program. Then you will join together here with the residential together in order to be a unique cohort of supply chain management professionals that will who graduate exactly at the same time, so with the same degree. The capstone project is something that is the same for both programs, for both cohorts. Then is a real challenge proposed by a real company partner of CTL that you will contribute with your solution, and also will be a great opportunity for experiential learning for you. Yeah, great. So this is the more detail with the residential pathway. So then orientation, there is some work. We start the capstone project in the fall term. Then we start with core classes. I will present in a second. Career coaching, the fall recruiting material. So then we start shaping your career with the career development office that will be only dedicated to you. And in January, then we welcome the students coming from all over the world in what we call our scale network. We have centers that they partner with us in Spain, in Luxembourg, in China, in Latin America, and in UK. So then we gather all these master students together here at MIT in order to duplicate the impact in the supply chain community. Then in a spring term, you can customize your electives according to the huge portfolio of opportunities for electives, and in May you will graduate. Compared with the blended, then the main difference, as I mentioned, is that then you will join us on campus in January. It's more intensive, so with these 5 months, you are doing some pre-work before January. You have here, we work on Python, then we will work on different webinars about methodologies, analytical methods, and then you will start the capstone project that, as I mentioned, is the same than the residential. In January, then you will join again the residential cohort with all these students coming from all over the world. In February, will be very intensive about your electives and the study trek to Panama or to San Francisco, as we mentioned, and then graduation all together. Good. This is the curriculum, just so you have a first flavor about what we offer as part of our master program. This is for the residential, just to show all the full details. In the fall term, then you will have analytical methods. For us, it's important analytical methods because then, the supply chains are shaped based on data. And so then we want you to understand what are the opportunities behind data, behind AI, behind all this transformation. Logistics systems is how to shape the flows in the supply chain. We work a lot with data, as we mentioned, database and data analytics. Written communication is important, how you communicate in front of executives, in front of your supply chain audience. And network design, how you shape the network of nodes in order to be tap on the dynamics of the market and your customers. Typically electives, take one elective, could be supply chain management, or could be one of these analytics, leadership and management strategy on your right. Then an IAP, it means January. Then we continue with analytical methods, part 2. And then you will work on how to lead global teams with all these peers that are coming from all over the world. You continue with the capstone project, of course. In spring, typically are 4 core topics, writing and communication and presentation, of course. Then we work on machine learning and AI in a core course, and then the capstone project. Additional to that, then you can work on your electives. So then typically recommended, one elective in supply chain management, could be sustainability, could be how to transform supply chains, could be omni-channel, could be last mile delivery. And then you can also take other electives in the School of Engineering or the business school, about leadership, about management, about entrepreneurship, about energy, more sustainability. It depends on your expectations about what you want to shape you as a professional when you will go to the job force. This is again the core elements of our curriculum together with the flexibility of the electives. But I can tell you, I mean, then we love flexibility because we want you to shape your own career and your own path. These are some of the courses that we are teaching in supply chain management, what we call the supply chain management elective. And these are our instructors. And I am sure that then you, know some of them. Probably Dr. Chris Kaplis, Dr. Matian Winkenbach, of course, Dr. Eva Pons, if you have taken some MicroMaster courses. Also, Elena Dujonji is in charge of AI and machine learning. Jarrod Gonzalez is the head of humanitarian supply chain. Josue Velázquez, our head in sustainability. And Chris Mejia, that is also working on food and retail operations. So again, different expertise in order to bring the latest development in the industry in that particular domain. And then again, each of us, we are leading one of the supply chain management courses. Yeah. And additionally, as I mentioned, you can take other courses all over MIT. So then 2 degree pathways. I mentioned residential and blended, but also there is another approach. Being residential or blended, you can decide if you want to focus more or less on research. Actually, the most typical pathway is a Master of Applied Sciences in Supply Chain Management. This is the degree that most of our students receive at the end of our journey. This requires a capstone project, but there is another pathway that is the Master of Engineering. Both degrees, Master of Applied Science, Master of Engineering, followed by residential or blended pathway. All these different pathways receive the degree from the School of Engineering with a great exposure to the business school. The main difference is that a Master of Applied Science requires a capstone project. Our main audience for the capstone project is industry versus a master thesis in the Master of Engineering that then is mainly focused on how to shape problems from the research angle. Of course, if you want to develop more research skills, then you can go to the Master of Engineering. It requires some antecedents, some additional expectations that we can discuss if when you have been accepted. The MIT experience, we want you to create, to be part of the SEM family. This is developed thanks to beautiful plethora of experiences here at MIT, not only within SEM, not only with the logistics community, but also with the different groups that are super active here at MIT. There are beautiful competitions, hackathons, there are clubs in operations, clubs in healthcare, clubs in sustainability, clubs in poker. So there are different kind of communities that you can join in order to enrich your experience with us. Here we have some pictures, just for example, on the blue t-shirts is in our first day of the program. We go to an island in order to develop the cohort. The second as well, the one with the lobster is also that night. And here on your left bottom is the day of graduation. You can imagine, how happy they are for that particular day. And I hope that you envision yourself on all these pictures with the MIT experience. These are some pictures of the MIT campus. Is close, very close to MIT. We are in Cambridge, but we are only one stop from Boston Center, and also 2 stops from Harvard. And also, we offer the possibility of taking courses at Harvard, which could be appealing for some of you. Yeah, and we aligned the MIT experience and our SCM experience with the main aim and mission of MIT, that is advanced knowledge and educate students, both science, technology with the latest development in technology, and also other areas of scholarship in order to impact the world. We also have the trek. These are some pictures from Panama, our trip to Panama. Crossed the Panama Canal with different modes, transportation modes. I think that every logistician should go to the Panama Canal. It's a great experience, and also we build and create and cultivate our bonds within the cohort, but also with the alumni that we connect as part of our treks in some of our hubs where our alumni are impacting the big players in the world. More pictures about, some experiences that you can take while you are here. We love cultures. We are very multicultural and diverse community. We cultivate this, we enrich that because we think that, global supply chains are important elements. So we need to understand others from the many multiple dimensions. So now let me introduce to my colleague Glenn Morrison. He will introduce more detail himself in order to envision what is your destination. Glenn, all yours.
Hi, thanks, Maria. Welcome, everyone. Delighted that you're interested in our program. It's a truly outstanding program. I'm the career advisor. I've been working with MIT students in this program for 8 years, but my career working with graduate students extends many years beyond that. I've never been affiliated with a more effective, a more transformative program. I think the one word that describes our approach to career services is it's a concierge approach. It's very high touch. We get to know every single student extremely well. Countless times we're meeting with them throughout the course of the year to understand exactly what your interests are and to find connections with employers and with alumni that are going to meet your needs. And as a testament to what we deliver, you could speak to alums from our program. I encourage you all to do that, to reach out. The class that's here right now, soon to graduate in May, they've all done that. They've connected with others who have been through the program and speak very highly of the career opportunities. So, as Maria mentioned earlier, our employer outcomes are really, they hold up extremely well compared to top MBA programs. A couple of facts that you may not be aware of. Our numbers are out already. Every MBA program, M7 programs launch or launch their numbers at a cutoff of 90 days past graduation. 90 days for us, we had 97% of the students with offers. Another fact that's interesting is 100% of international students who wanted to work in the US landed in the US with a full-time job. And when I say 100%, there was only one student within our class who was an international student who said, I need to go back to Brazil. They did go back to Brazil. They landed a job with Uber back in Brazil. So in terms of confidence, I remain very confident of what we can deliver. A large percentage, more than 60% of our students who receive and accept offers, those are from connections with alumni from our program. Or with employers that we bring into the program. So we're very pleased with the depth of companies that we partner with. Amazon, again, was a high point for the year. I think they hired 13 students from the most recent class. Now, oftentimes, I think 48% of students went into tech, 22% students went into consulting. Obviously, those are very high-paying roles in industries. They also sponsor international students, so that's partly the reason why there's a concentration within those sectors. But as you can see from the titles here, a variety of roles across planning, sourcing, program management, and consulting. I'm happy to sort of take any questions that you might have in the chat. but I can speak to this year. We've got, right as I'm speaking, we have an alum from the class of 2015 speaking to students about entrepreneurship. He's ex-McKinsey, and we focus our fall programming on career education and building the bridge with alums. So I'll say at least 3 days a week, we've got alums in our lab talking to current students about opportunities, and it's enormously productive. That's, I think, one of the greatest assets of this program. A class of 40 rolls through. It's an intensely transformative experience. When they leave, they want to give back, and we count on that. They pay it forward. It's a huge factor in our success, and I would put the strength of our alumni network up against any top MBA program in the country, hands down. And I think all of our alums would attest to that as well. So this year, I'm equally encouraged. There is a high degree of uncertainty, obviously, with recent announcements around H-1B. I had a conversation with Meta this week and with Apple. Both are saying it's business as usual, but it may not be business as usual with other companies. So clearly there's a lot of uncertainty. We take that into account, but we are here to work with every student on a one-on-one basis to get you where you want to be. But maybe at this point, I'll turn it over to Maria. If you do have any questions, email me directly. Happy to answer them. Our outcomes report will be available, in the coming weeks. But happy to discuss your situation at any time. Thanks, Maria.
Thank you very much, Len. I wanted to emphasize that for us, the SEM community is so important. We developed the community from the very beginning because this is part of our, I would say, our impact. That the alumni, when they go to work, Tesla, and I mean, last week we received visits from alumni from Tesla, and then they want to come back, they want to hire, they want to interact, they want to help the current students because they receive the same help from the past, alumni, and this is so important for you and so powerful for the program itself.
Yeah, Maria, I'm seeing some questions in the chat about what makes for a strong applicant. So, some advice for me, because I'm on the admissions committee and I'm looking at your resume as an indicator of your achievements and your accomplishments. So clearly, the resume that you submit with your application package should focus on accomplishments. It's not a listing of everything you've done. It's not a listing of job tasks or responsibilities. It's accomplishments, achievements that are quantified. So certainly focus on that. I see a comment here about the MicroMasters. Certainly MicroMasters courses, SC0X is highly recommended. It's an option if you're not taking the GMAT or the GRE. And we have some
students. We'll talk about this later. There are several questions about MicroMasters. Okay. Definitely we can discuss the pathway. That definitely we consider that you already took your MicroMasters courses in order to enrich your experience here. But we can go with this later, Len. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Sure.
Perfect. Yeah. Because Len, Aaron, I think you are going to cover some of the SC0X, GMAT, GRE. Am I right?
I am. Yes. Thank you, Maria. So hi, everyone. My name is Aaron Gazarians. I am the SEM program manager, and I am going to walk you through the application process here and some of the things that we are looking for. So Maria, if you could go to the next slide, please. So here's some of the requirements we have for our program. As has been referenced, there's the GMAT, GRE, or SC0X. So all applicants for the residential program are required to take one of these exams as part of their application. We obviously encourage you to take the SC0X because that is kind of more garnered towards the supply chain management program and is looking specifically at certain analytical skills that we feel are required for a ideal candidate for our program. But that's not to say you can't take the GMAT or GRE. We always have students who apply having taken one of those other exams. And so There's no real difference for us, but those you do need to take one of those three. For the blended program, a little different. You are required to take all of the MicroMasters courses as well as the comprehensive final exam, which is proctored, and you need to have completed all of the courses and the exam prior to applying. You cannot apply for the program if you are still finishing up a course or you haven't taken the exam and are planning on taking the exam after the deadline date for the blended round of admission round. For both residential and blended students, if you're an international student, MIT does require you to have taken one of those exams. There are minimum score requirements for each. MIT actually now does, and we will update this on. It's also updated on our website, I believe. We do now also accept the Duolingo option. MIT has made the decision to allow for that as an option moving forward. All of this information as to requirements and exam options we accept are on our website as well as the application. So I highly recommend that you look at those and make sure that you meet the requirements that the university or the institute has implemented for moving forward. Now, there are certain instances where you do not need to take one of those exams. Again, that information is on the website, but I think that is for just quickly covering that is limited to having gone to a 4-year undergraduate program in certain countries. So they have identified, I believe, 6 countries where if you attended a university in one of those countries, you are automatically receive a waiver from having to provide an English exam score. The application also includes a video statement, a written objectives, a resume, letters of recommendations, and your transcript. So I'm just quickly going over this because the next slide, Maria, we'll walk through a little bit about this and tips. So first of all, the video statement. This is your opportunity to introduce yourself to the committee, explain to them why you are looking to apply, why you're applying to MIT, how you see this degree helping your career path, and just to be very, explain to us where you're coming from, what you're looking to do, and who you are. We highly recommend, and I can't stress this enough, please avoid reading the statement. We understand you're trying to get a lot of information across to us, and it's in a professional manner, but at the end of the day, we just want to get to know you a little bit better and kind of see a more natural side to you. We don't want you to be reading. We don't want it to come across as a scripted statement. So please take that into consideration as you're applying. And if you want to kind of think about what you want to say, that's by all means go ahead, but try to avoid reading it because after a lot of years, we can tell as well as you try to hide it. We can definitely tell if you're reading. And so practice, as I mentioned, it's important. If you want to tell us something specific, make sure that you practice it, and so that you make sure you don't forget it. Work experience. So there's a lot of questions that have been coming in. I'm trying to answer as many as I can. A lot of them do revolve around work experience. For the residential program, we really are looking for minimum 3 years work experience, if not more. I think from what we've seen and the things that we are covering here at MIT, the more work experience you have, the better equipped you are to succeed in the various classes and programs and interacting with companies that during this the 10 months that you're on campus. Again, this is specifically for the residential program. For blended students, we usually see the minimum work experience a little bit higher than this. But for both, I think we do stress that you have at least 3 years work experience. Resume, Len can speak more about this if there are more questions about this, but as it says here, kind of lay it out clearly, what you've done, where you've been, the positions you've been in. We've seen this done in various formats, and so I think it's really important that you ensure that the key skills you've gained, the key work you've done in these positions, make sure that is included in your resume so that it kind of provides the committee a clear picture of who you are, what you've done, and where you're looking to go. Letters of recommendation. We ask for one academic, one professional. I think what I'll stress here, we understand some of you, if you've been out of college for 4 or 5 plus years, this might be a little hard. And so we just ask that you try. If you have more than one professional recommendation, that's totally fine. I think we're just trying to get a better picture of, again, who you are, both academically as well as professionally. So that kind of helps us with that process, if you can get one from each. As it says here, again, choose someone who can speak about your accomplishments. So obviously look to get a recommendation from someone you've worked with as opposed to someone you know, so that they can speak more highly to your skill sets, what you've done, how you worked with them, what you accomplished. And so that's what we're really looking for here when we mention that. But yeah, thanks, Maria. Fellowships and funding. Again, some questions come up about this as well. As it says here, the earlier you basically what it says here, the earlier you apply, the more opportunities you have for fellowships. Specifically, MIT does provide certain fellowship opportunities that have a deadline in early spring. So if you're looking to maybe apply for one of these, and you can find more information about this through our website, linking back to the Office of Graduate Education, these all have a deadline in early spring. And so if you are applying for the residential program, it is very important that you apply either round 1 or round 2 to qualify for one of these. Unfortunately, round 3 applicants, there aren't many opportunities other than our internal ones, because the university has already kind of awarded out the fellowships for the following year. I think a lot of this has to do, obviously, with having everything financially set and finalized prior to July 1st. So again, they have a hard deadline in the early spring. So it's important, if you're looking to do one of these, that you apply in round 1 or round 2. Round 1 blended, round 1 or 2 residential. And so, yep. Here is a breakdown of our deadlines. So the first one is coming up at the end of the month for the residential program. And then we'll have a second one in the end of January. And then the last one for our residential program is the end of March. For the blended program, our first deadline will be in January. The comprehensive final exam for the MicroMasters is being held in December, I believe. So we will have our first deadline in the weeks following that. So if you're completing your MicroMasters degree and you're signed up for the exam, don't worry. You will have enough time to apply. Highly recommend you start the application now so that you are ready to go once you get your exam score. But we do take that into consideration with these two deadlines, that they are lined up a few weeks after the comprehensive exam being offered by the MicroMasters team. As you can tell from here, there is no round 3 for blended, given the fact that the second exam is in May and the deadline's in mid-June. Our decisions will go out in early July, and after that, we're already shifting to the following year. So even though you don't come to campus until January, we do finalize the class by early August. And so that's why there's only 2 deadlines. Some upcoming events that we have lined up for you. The first one is December 11th. It says admissions career development webinar. This is originally supposed to be a career development webinar we offered, but based on how everything went last year and the continued admissions questions we had coming in, we are going to take some more additional admissions related questions and include that in the presentation for December 11th. So if there's anything that we did not cover here and I was unable to answer because I see the questions are still coming in, don't worry, there will be another opportunity to ask prior to the deadline for round 2 of the residential program, and obviously prior to the first deadline for the blended program. We will have an additional admissions focused webinar in mid-January, and that one will be led by our Associate Director of Academic Programming, Maren Axe, who will be back from maternity leave. And so she will be able to answer more questions and provide more insight as to how the admissions process works. But again, if there's anything, like I said, if there's anything we missed in this one or December 11th, please join us January 15th for another opportunity. And finally, in spring, we have not finalized a date yet. We do have a preview day where this will give you an opportunity to come to MIT to see what life is like in the day of an SCM student. This is something that we did last year, went really well. I think the attendees really appreciated it. And so we are bringing it back again to give you another opportunity to come and see what MIT has to offer.
It depends on your expectations and your motivations, right? If you are a change maker, you love challenging yourself for the next challenges of the world, supply chain is your area, definitely. You want to bring your career to the next level, we can definitely help you, we can equip you, and we can channel you to the next stage in your career. If you are an eager learner with a passion for the topic for supply chain, definitely this is your place. If you love entrepreneurship, innovation, investment, and how technology can shape the world of logistics and supply chain operations, energy, sustainability, definitely this is your place. And if you are looking for a program that will bring you challenge and growth, then again, this is your place. We will definitely love to read your application, and we would love to have you here and then walk you through our supply chain management journey. These are the data. You already know this data. And then we have tons of questions. So we have now good time for questions. So I will start with the blended questions, right? Sorry, MicroMasters. Then if you took MicroMaster courses, let's say SE0X, of course, because it's expected, but SE1X, SE2, SE3X, no worries. Even if you go with the residential path that the MicroMaster certificate is not expected, for the residential path, several students already took MicroMaster courses. So then we know that. So then we shape your particular bandwidth in order to take more courses, more credits while you are here at MIT. This is one thing. If you are taking MicroMasters, so typically for the blended, again, the pathway or the milestones will be take the MicroMaster courses, then the CFX. Our deadline, as Aaron explained, our deadlines for applying to the blended program are aligned, are synchronized with the CFX. So we are working with the MicroMaster team. We know when they share the final grades of the CFX. So then you are a MicroMaster holder, and then you are able to apply to our program according to the 2 rounds for the blended master application. So again, we know all this. Definitely, I was reading a question that then if you take your MicroMaster in May, definitely you can apply, because our second round for blended is in June. So then you will apply to the blended program, and then we will work with you during the summer. So then you will start your work with us remote in August. And then you will join us in January. So definitely, if you take the CFX this November, right? CFX 1 for this academic year, or May, definitely you can apply to the blended program that will start in August 2026 and will join us in person in January 2027 and will graduate in May 2027. So then definitely, yes. There was some questions about, if you have certain levels of SE0X and then you will be acceptable or not. We search the applications, we review your application holistically. Definitely, we had some applicants that got, SE0X lower than 85. Definitely, if you more than 85, great. But sometimes then you have some strength that you are showing in maybe your leadership journey. And then we, review the applications very holistically. There were some questions about the years of experience. Definitely, we want, this experience because the program is designed in order to channel all these experiences that you are bringing, and then in order to build this collective learning all together with different layers of learning, with every class, every course has a project or experience and learning content so that you can apply your experience, the capstone project, etc. So every piece has this layer. Then there were some questions if internships count. We consider internships, but for the 3 years expectation, is expected that you have been working with a contract. This is the idea. So then, what else?
Sure, Maria. We've had a couple questions come in regarding student applicants who already have another master's degree, and if this would be an issue. What I'll say is we definitely have had students who have had another master's degree, and they are now looking to get a master's degree in supply chain management. I think for those candidates, it's really important for you to stress in both your personal statement as well as your video statement why you are looking to get a second master's degree, why a master's degree in supply chain, how you see this helping you moving forward, and what career goals you have and what brought you to the program. But what I will say again, as I mentioned earlier, we have had students who have had more than one master's degree. So it's not, please don't think that if you already have one, you won't be considered. It's just really important for you to kind of share how this will be helping you moving forward.
There was a question to me apparently about the experience in supply chain. It's not mandatory experience, 3 years of experience in supply chain, but we appreciate when this directly or indirectly related with supply chain. I remember, one alum that he has extensive experience in the entrepreneurship, venture capital, finance, but then he is, helping supply chainers and operations managers and companies that have a strong operations supply chain core content in their ventures or maybe mergers and acquisitions, but his expertise with finance, and he did a super great job. So again, somehow then we will appreciate if your application, you bring your supply chain knowledge and your link with supply chain and your motivation for building your knowledge in supply chain. Definitely we can have career changes as applicants, absolutely, yes. But Len, maybe you can elaborate more on that.
Obviously we have a 3-year minimum for experience. Employers are looking for experience in this market. I track salaries by years of experience. Students who are 7+ years of experience are paid the highest. Students with less than 3 years, and we did have a few this past class, lower salary. So companies are paying for experience, and I think that's something to take into account. We want you to be successful when you come into the program, and that's an important factor. I do see a question here, which I'll answer, around the new H-1B requirements in terms of employability for international students. My answer is, I think it's too early to tell. I've talked to a number of employers, and some have said it's business as usual, but honestly, I can understand why it would be a concern. What we're telling the current class is sort of head down, forge ahead, build relationships, and we're going to support you right through graduation and beyond. That's what we promise to our graduates. So we've been through a number of difficult cycles with this program and with other programs going back years. In every case, the network of alums is enormously powerful. So there are some things we can control. There are other things we can't.
And we have a strong network of supply chain professionals all over the world who are supporting global career developments as well. Yeah. So Also, a question about the PhD. Then what about the students who already have a PhD? I mean, if you justify why you want to master in supply chain management, this is the most important thing. If you come for a PhD, great. We have, PhD graduate students who already got the PhD degree in our master class because maybe they were working on a very scientific oriented biotech company, and then PhD was, I mean, well appreciated there, and they want to develop more their leadership journey, understanding more operations, supply chain, and leadership. This worked perfectly. So then, for us, the most important thing, as Aaron and Len mentioned, is what is your motivation for supply chain field? And then, if you are bringing with more knowledge in a particular area, it's okay as long as you expect an impact in supply chain. Yeah. Yeah, I see that Joy already answered. Thank you. Some questions about the expectation of the resume. Yeah, we love to know more about you. I mean, your genuine presence, your genuine essence. This is what we want. And we want diversity in the class. So they don't expect to shape yourself about what we are going to expect, because then this is quite obvious. Shape yourself to show yourself to us in the video, in the essay, in the letter, for your motivation. This is what we want. Exactly, know more about you. And even when we have some candidate that is reading, you don't realize, but we realize that then that you are reading, because we see, I mean, the reflection, and then we see that then it's obvious. But I mean, train yourself, show confidence, and bring your essence. This is what we will recommend. Yeah. GRE, yeah, GRE is, I mean, is accepted. GMAT is accepted. SE0S is accepted. What else? Is below, if your GRE is below 75%, definitely apply. Yeah, definitely apply, because we observe the applications very holistically. But we can't, I mean, say that then you will be accepted or not, because we want to see all your application and your essence into our program. What else? Yeah, I think that we are going to share this video. We are going to share the PowerPoint. Definitely contact us and then submit your questions here. Then I highlight here what is our email. So then, sorry, that then you can, again, bring your question. We will recommend definitely to take a look before to the website. So then you see what is already mentioned there. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it that then you are here with us, sharing your motivation. And this means that then your commitment is there. And please, I mean, contact us if you have any question. And thank you, Aaron, Len, Joy, for helping with this webinar.